Attention, podcast listeners. We have a special surprise for those captivated by the mystical and thought-provoking world of Prometheus. You, too, must have pondered the questions the film raises about the origin of humanity and the secrets of the cosmos. We are thrilled to announce that the film has finally been released in novel form, allowing you to immerse yourselves even further in this thrilling story. The book, penned by José Alexander Nogueira, doesn't merely follow the film's plot, but enriches the Prometheus universe with detailed characters and exciting backstories. Published in Hungarian, the book is a true treasure for fans, as it incorporates dialogue directly from the film, bringing the story even closer to the viewers. And why do we consider the birth of this novel so important? Because the experience of reading is entirely different from watching a film. A book allows us to progress through the story at our own pace, and to become even more deeply engrossed in the thoughts and motivations of the characters. Moreover, the Prometheus film novel is available in multiple formats, as a printed book, an ebook, and an audiobook, so everyone can find their preferred form. And to allow even more people to share in this fantastic experience, it would be wonderful if the Hungarian language book were translated into English. This would enable English-speaking fans to also discover the Prometheus universe and experience the unparalleled joy of reading.
All right, so buckle up, because today we are diving into Prometheus by José Alexander Nogueira. And let me tell you, this isn't just some sci-fi story. We're talking about some serious questions about creation, destruction, and what it means to be human, you know? And the thing is, we're working with excerpts here, little pieces of the puzzle.
Yes, like we're piecing together this giant jigsaw puzzle, right? Trying to figure out the timeline, the why behind all these crazy events.
Exactly. And speaking of crazy, this opening scene, talk about starting with a bang. We got spaceships, desolate planets, this mysterious engineer character. No, it kind of reminds me of those ancient astronaut theories, but like way more intense, way more philosophical. What was your first impression?
Oh, for sure. The visuals are amazing, but honestly, it's those big questions Nogueira throws at us right off the bat that really drew me in. Like, you see this engineer, and he's drinking this black liquid, right? But it's not just casual sip, it's like this whole ritualistic thing, almost like a sacrifice, and then bam, transformation, the ship leaves him behind. It just makes you wonder, was this intentional? Was he seeding life on Earth? Or was it something completely different, something we can't even imagine?
And the setting, right. I mean, Nogueira doesn't just say, hey, this is ancient Earth. He paints this vivid picture of a desolate volcanic landscape. It's like you can practically feel the heat, the rawness of this primordial Earth just teeming with potential.
Totally. And then he throws us this curveball, right? Jumps us thousands of years ahead to 2089 Scotland. Suddenly we're in this super-controlled, sterile archaeology lab. Talk about a contrast.
Right. 1 minute it's all volcanoes and black goo. The next, we're in a lab with scientists in white coats. Do you know what's interesting? Despite the jump in time, there's this connection, right? The search for origins that links humanity across millennia. We see it in the cave paintings they discover in this excerpt. Ancient humans depicting these engineers pointing up at the stars. It's like even back then, they felt this need, this pull to understand where they came from.
It's a timeless human question. Yeah. And we see it echoed in Peter Whalen's message too, right? The dude is obsessed with finding our creators. Like, he needs their validation, maybe even a shot at immortality. Yeah. Nogueira does this amazing job of weaving this primal human desire into a character driven by ambition, by the pursuit of knowledge and power through technology.
It's true, and there's this irony, right? Because Whalen's created David, this incredible android, and he views him as both his son and as soulless. Like, it makes you question if Wayland even understands what it means to be human, what it means to create. But you know what else struck me? It's not just about finding our creators. This theme of creation, it pops up again with the whole terraforming thing.
Right. Like, we find all this evidence on the planets, and even the crew's discussions revolve around it.
Yeah.
It's like Nogueira is showing us how this desire to find our creators is intertwined with this desire to become creators ourselves. They're talking about shaping this alien world, mirroring what the engineer might have done on early Earth.
And then there's Holloway. Man, that scene where he just takes off his helmet in this alien atmosphere. Talk about a gut punch. This world could be lethal to humans, and he just takes it off.
It's a powerful moment, you know. He's driven by this urge to connect, to breathe the same air as our potential creators. But it's a gamble, a huge risk. And you know what? It ties right back to the engineer's sacrifice in the beginning.
You're right. This whole idea of creation being so closely linked to destruction, this willingness to take huge risks for knowledge, for progress. Nogueira really hammers that home, doesn't he? It makes you wonder if we're just repeating a cycle, messing with forces we don't even begin to understand.
And with that thought.
Yeah, and it's not just Holloway, right? Each character, it's like they represent a different side of this whole pursuit of knowledge, this need to know, even if it means taking crazy risks. Like Elizabeth, she's all about scientific curiosity, diving headfirst into the unknown.
Totally. Driven by that thirst for answers. And then you have Vickers, right? She's all corporate, all about control, looking at everything through the lens of profit margins and bottom lines. It's like Nogueira showing us the different agendas at play when you throw something this big, this profound at humanity. What happens? How do we react?
Exactly. And let's not forget about David, right? The android in the room, literally, he's observing everything, soaking it all in. But is it just programming? Or is there genuine curiosity there? It really makes you think, what does it even mean to be human when you've got this synthetic being who can learn, adapt, maybe even feel? I mean, think about that scene where he discovers the holographic recordings of the engineers.
Oh man, that scene gives me chills every time. It's like we get this glimpse into their world, their technology, their culture, but it's more than that, right? You see David's fascination with it all, this sense of wonder, but also this, I don't know, almost like a predatory instinct. Like he's recognizing power and wants to understand it, maybe even control it.
Right. And doesn't that tie back into the whole terraforming thing? I mean, these engineers, they had the tech to shape worlds. And now David, he's unraveling their secrets. It's like a torch being passed, but is it going to be a peaceful transition? Or are we headed for a cosmic showdown? And then there's the black liquid that just keeps popping up, shrouded in mystery. What is that stuff?
The source of the engineer's power.
Yeah.
A weapon. Something else entirely. Nogueira's good at keeping us guessing, that's for sure. Remember that scene where David's messing with those amphorae, the ones containing the black liquid? He says, great things have small beginnings. It's just a throwaway line, but it tells us so much. David gets it. He understands the potential of this stuff, maybe even more than the humans do.
And if you underestimate that potential, well, let's just say things don't end well. That whole encounter with the snake-like creature, it's like Nogueira's throwing a bucket of ice water over us. Don't get too comfy, folks, because this stuff is dangerous.
It's a reminder that humanity, we're diving into the deep end here, and we might not be ready for what's lurking down there. That whole body horror vibe, the sheer terror, Nogueira doesn't hold back. He wants us to feel the weight of this knowledge, the potential cost of searching for answers.
Totally. But even with all the chaos, the horror, they make a breakthrough, right? They find a DNA match. The engineers and humans talk about a bombshell. It's like finding the missing link, but instead of answering our questions, it just throws up a million more. Are we their descendants, their creations, something else entirely?
It flips the script, right? It makes us question everything we thought we knew about ourselves.
Yeah.
If we do share a lineage with these beings, does that mean we're capable of the same incredible feats? The same capacity for destruction? It's a chilling thought, and it cuts to the heart of what makes Prometheus so unsettling.
And for Elizabeth, it's a turning point. She's dealing with Holloway's death, the fact that her entire worldview about creation might be a lie. And then there's the reveal about her condition. Talk about a gut punch.
Right. Nogueira throws this curveball, and suddenly the stakes get even higher. It's not just about ancient history anymore. It's personal. And it circles back to that black liquid, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What is it about this substance that can cause such profound changes? Is it life-giving, destructive, or both?
It's like the story's spinning out of control, hurtling towards this point of no return. And yet there's this shift, right? Elizabeth, she's been through the ringer, but instead of breaking, it's like she's forged in fire. She's not just looking for answers anymore. She needs them. She has to understand why all this happened.
And that's where Wayland comes in, right? Talk about an entrance. The guy's literally cheating death, crossing galaxies for a chance to meet his makers. It's almost, I don't know, Shakespearean. This dying man clinging to the belief that he can control anything, even bargain with these godlike beings. But like Janek tries to tell him, something tells me they're not going to be open to negotiation.
It's like he's trying to cheat death, right? Not just physically, but like you said, on a narrative level too. As if meeting these engineers will somehow give him control over the bigger story. His own mortality. It's kind of sad when you think about it.
Totally. And it's interesting how he brings David along, right? It's not just about finding answers for himself anymore. It's about having his creation there to witness it, like some kind of twisted validation.
Yeah, it's like he's testing David, seeing if his creation can truly grasp the magnitude of what they're facing, which makes that final encounter with the engineer. Man.
The tension is off the charts. You can met it with a knife.
The way Nogueira builds that scene, the language barrier, the sense of desperate hope from Wayland, and then that look from the engineer, it's haunting. Like we're insignificant to him. Ants under a magnifying glass.
And then, boom,
Yeah.
everything goes sideways. The engineer snaps, goes on a rampage. It's like Nogueira is showing us in the most brutal way possible what happens when you push too far, when you try to control forces beyond your comprehension.
And amidst all that chaos, we see Elizabeth's transformation. She's lost everything. Her partner, her beliefs, even her sense of safety. But there's this, I don't know, this fire in her now, a determination we haven't seen before. She's not the same person who boarded that ship, that's for sure. She's been through the ringer, and she's come out the other side changed. And her decision to go to the engineer's homeworld, that's not about curiosity anymore. It's about taking control, finishing what they started.
She's not searching for answers anymore. She's demanding them. And what about David? Right? Just a head in a bag, but still functioning, still observing. That last question he asks Elizabeth, is it truly important to know? Man, it sticks with you, doesn't it?
It does. It makes you wonder, are some things better left buried? If we could ask the big questions, the ones about creation, about our place in the universe, would we even be able to handle the answers?
That's the beauty of Prometheus, right? Nogueira doesn't give us easy answers. He gives us questions that stay with us long after we finish reading. It makes you think about humanity's place in the universe, our relentless pursuit of knowledge, and whether some doors are best left unopened.
These excerpts, they're just a taste, a glimpse into this much larger, more complex story. And I think that's what we're left with, right? A sense of wonder, of awe, but also this underlying unease. Because maybe, just maybe, we're not ready for the answers we seek.
And that's something to chew on, right? Maybe the real journey is the questions we ask along the way, not the answers themselves.
Well said. Well, folks, there you have it, another deep dive into the world of sci-fi and the big questions that keep us up at night. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and most importantly, keep looking up.
The ebook is available for purchase in PDF and ePub formats from Silent Library Pro Publisher via PayPal for $4.99 at the link below. After the payment is completed, please send the transaction ID to silent.library.pro@gmail.com. The publisher will send you the book in both formats to your provided email address shortly. Please note that the book is only available in Hungarian for the fans.